Hi everybody, this is Shiva Beer signing in, and I am here to explain you the different losses in a transformer in this session. Generally, the students find difficulty in calculating the copper losses at different loads because the copper losses are variable losses. They depend upon the current. As the load varies, the copper losses are also going to vary. So in this session, I am going to explain briefly in a simple way how to calculate the copper losses at different loads, and also we shall deal the different types of losses that we are going to have for a transformer. So generally the losses we are going to have core losses and copper losses. The core losses again can be considered as two. One is hysteresis loss, which is represented by WH, and another one is eddy current loss, represented by WE. The empirical formula for calculating hysteresis loss is given as WH is equal to KH multiplied by F into Bm to the power of 1.6. Let me explain you these parameters here. KH is the hysteresis constant, F is the frequency, and Bm is the maximum value of flux density. And is this proportionality constant KH is going to depend upon the volume and quality of the core material and also the units that we are going to specify. And if you go for the eddy current loss, we are going to have the empirical formula as KE multiplied by F square into Bm square. Here KE is known as the eddy current constant, proportionality constant, whose value depends upon the volume and resistivity of the core material and also the thickness of the laminations. So that is the reason why if you reduce the thickness of the laminations, the eddy current losses are going to be decreased. Hence, if you observe the core of the transformer, it will be consisting of number of laminations instead of a single unit in order to reduce this particular eddy current losses. Okay. And put together, these two losses are going to be considered as WH plus WE is the iron loss or core loss, which is B, which will be like this. And the core losses are also considered as the constant losses because they are not going to vary with the load. Whatever may be the load that we are going to apply onto the secondary side, these losses will remain the same. Hence these are considered as the constant losses. And the eddy current loss can also be reduced by laminating the core. Just now we have discussed. Now let us go for the copper loss or ohmic loss. So this is one of the important things that we have to discuss here. The copper loss is also known as ohmic loss because these losses are going to be experienced because of the resistance of the windings. And the formula for calculating copper loss is equal to square of the current multiplied by the resistance value. And if you consider the primary and secondary winding, so these losses are going to vary as the load varies. Hence these are known as variable losses. And the total copper losses can be given as I1 square multiplied by R1 plus I2 square multiplied by R2. That is the primary winding copper losses multiplied plus secondary winding copper losses. And this can also be given as I1 square into R01 or I1 square multiplied by R02, where R01 is the equivalent resistance of the transformer referred to the primary side, and R02 is the total resistance or equivalent resistance of the transformer referred to the secondary side. You can use either of these formulae in order to find out the total copper losses. And in addition to above losses, the transformer will also have a small amount of stray losses and dielectric losses in the insulating materials, which will be having very, very small values, and hence they can be neglected. And we can consider that the transformer having only two major losses, that is core loss and copper losses. Now let us see how to calculate the copper loss for different loads. So as we have seen that the total losses in a transformer is equal to core loss plus copper loss, and the core loss is considered as constant. It doesn't depend upon the load current, but the copper loss varies as the load varies. How it is going to vary? It varies as square of the load current or the kilovolt amperes. So let us consider some examples in order to understand how to calculate the copper loss and also the output The output, because the output is very much important in order to calculate the efficiency of a transformer. So the first thing is we have to calculate the output at different given loads. So let us see in this example. We are given a 100 kVA 2000 bar 200 volt 50 Hz single phase transformer. It has got a full load copper loss of 200 watts. So now let us see what we have to calculate. And we need to find out the output power and copper loss at three conditions. The first one is 50% of the load, 0.8 power factor lagging, and 3/4, that is 75% of the load and 0.75 power factor leading, and third one is 80% of the load and the power factor is unity, UPF, means resistive load. Let us see how to calculate the output power and copper losses at these respective conditions. First, let us say 50% of the load. So here you can see the full load kVA is 100. So when you consider 50%, it is going to be multiplied with 0.5. So 0.5 into 100 kVA will give us 50 kVA. This is the output kVA, and in order to get the output power in watts, this kVA is to be multiplied with the power factor. Here the power factor is given as 0.8 power factor lagging. So hence the output power is going to be equal to 50 multiplied by 0.8, which will be 40 kilowatts. Here one more important observation that we have to make here is the output power doesn't depend upon the power factor whether it is going to lead or lag, because if it is 0.8 power factor lagging or 0.8 power factor leading, it is going to be this value only, 40 kilowatts. So that is the reason why the efficiency of a transformer doesn't depend upon the the power factor, whether it is going to lead or lag. Of course it depends upon the power factor, but it doesn't matter whether the power factor is going to lead or lag. So here 0.8 power factor lagging, we are given the power factor as, hence the output power we have got as 50 into 0.8 VI cos phi, which is equal to 40 kilowatts. And now let us come to the case of copper losses. We know the copper loss at full load as 200 watts, and we need to find out the copper loss at 50% of the load. 50% means 0.5, and as it varies as the square of the current, so here we have got 0.5 square divided by 1 square. So let me tell you a blind mark here how to make it in a simple way. This is actually the copper loss, the load at which we are given. So here 200 watts at the, so and in the denominator we have to consider the load at which the copper loss is given to us, that is full load. That is the reason why we considered 1 here, and 0.5 means in the numerator we have to consider the copper loss at which we have to find out, the load at which we have to find out the copper loss. So here 50% means in the numerator we have to consider 0.5 square. In the denominator it is the load at which we are given the copper losses, so that is 1 square. So numerator means we have to it is the load at which we have to find out. Denominator means it is the load at which we are given the copper loss. So I hope that it is clear to you. So 0.5 square divided by 1 square, so multiplied by 200, which is equal to 50 watts. Now let us consider the second case where 75% of the load, that is 3/4 of the load, 0.75 power factor lead. The full load kVA is 100, and 75% means 0.75, which gives us a value of 750 kVA, and output power is kVA multiplied by cos phi, 750 multiplied by 0.75, which gives us 562.5 kilowatts. And similarly come to the case of the copper losses. So we know the copper loss at full load, so full load means 1. In the denominator we have to consider 1 square, so this is what actually the copper loss at the full load multiplied by, in the numerator we have to consider the load at which we have to calculate, so which is 3/4 means 0.75 square. So hence here 200 multiplied by 0.75 square divided by 1 square, which is going to give us 112.5 watts. Similarly the third one is 80% of the load, so 0.8 into 100 kVA will give us 800 kVA, and here the power factor is given as UPF, that is unity power factor. Hence the output power will be 800 multiplied by 1, which is going to give us 800 kilowatts. Okay, and come to the case of the calculation of copper loss. Here the denominator remains the same because we know the copper loss at full load, hence in the denominator we will have 1 square, and in the numerator we have to consider the load at which we have to find out the copper loss, that is 80% means 0.8 square. So 200 multiplied by 0.8 square by 1 square, which will give us a value of 128 watts. I hope that this example gives you good information regarding how to calculate the copper loss and output at the different loads and power factors. Now let's go through another example. So in this example we are given the copper loss for a transformer at 3/4 of the full load. So here the copper loss itself is given for us at 75% of the full load, and the value is given as 400 watts. Means at 3/4 of the load the copper loss is given as 400 watts. So here the known is 400 watts at what load? 75%, that is 0.75 will be in the denominator. Okay, and find the copper loss at first one is 50% of the load, second one is the full load, and third one is 80% of the load. Okay, now let us apply our logic here. The first one is copper loss at 50% of the load. The actual copper loss at which we are given is 400 watts multiplied by, in the denominator, the load at which we are given, so 0.75. okay, denominator it will be 0.75 square, and the numerator the load at which we have to find out, that is 50%, 0.5 square by 0.75 square, which is going to give us 177.8 watts. Now come to the case of the second one, copper loss at full load. So we have to calculate at full load. So the numerator will be 1 square and the denominator is the same, 0.75 square, so which will give us 711.11 watts. Similarly the third one is at 80% of the load, so only the numerator changes, 0.8 square by 0.75 square, so that is equal to 455 watts. The logic is very simple. Whatever copper loss is given for us at a particular load, we have to consider here, and that load is to be kept in the denominator square, and the load at which we have to find out the copper loss is to be kept in the numerator. So as simple as that. I hope that this information is very much useful to you, and thank you very much for your patient listening, and subscribe to my channel for more videos. Please share to others also if you find them useful to the students. Thank you very much. This is Shiva Biram signing off.